Nora was English. Despite spending her adulthood abroad, she could still switch easily to the soft King's English of her mother, from her father's Czech or her colleague's Swiss German. With her pale blue eyes and pale brown hair, she looked unremarkable in an English crowd. And the reservation was in an English name. Her mother's before marriage. Nora Chapek said, "My name is Dr. Dickinson." To be English in England was to be less conspicuous. That was valuable when you were watching someone. Once Harvey had left her to the privacy of her room, Nora sat upon the bed, her back straight, in the dying light. She removed her gloves finger by finger and considered the task ahead. Dinner would be served at 6. Nora wasn't hungry, but she must attend, because she had to watch the woman she'd come for. There was time to wash away the taint of travel. The bathroom was strictly in accordance with the hotel standards. The mirror was highly polished, mounted on a wall of jadeite and black chevron tiles, and the bathtub recessed in the alcove was deep. The rail bore 3 perfectly aligned towels. A bar of lavender soap in stiff paper sat perpendicular to the sink tap. Nora tore the paper away and disrobed to wash. She always regretted turning the sharp edges of new soap soft. Clean but shivering, she returned to the trunk in her room and knelt to open it. Uppermost was a yellow silk evening gown that was formal enough for the dining room. Fully unpacking could wait until after dinner. She donned her undergarments and the dress, which felt slippery against her skin. The bell sleeves were long and elegant. She must attain the correct presentation, neither ostentatious nor dowdy. It was necessary to blend in while she gauged the best means of gathering information on Berenice. By the time she had locked her room and taken the stairs and found the pinfold dining room, she was breathless, yet still, officially, on time. Some 200 guests were awaiting sustenance. Nora hated to be in the midst of this many people, so many conversations to hear, to fill her head and leave their mark. A waitress, in an immaculate serving smock of dark blue, indicated Nora should follow. She was shorter than Nora, around 5'6", and Nora noticed with a glance at the other servers this was one of the higher-class places that insisted waitresses all be of the same height. It lent the room an uncanny air to be served by young women of identical physique in identical clothes, as if any one of them might be swapped for another, and no one need notice or care. Nora wondered if each evening they lay down in identical boxes, and the maître d'hôtel placed a lid on each one to keep them spotless for the next day. It was a silly, macabre thought, and Nora dismissed it by reflecting that waitresses probably didn't live in. They would go back to their lodgings in one of the city streets, regaining their individuality with every step towards home. Nora was shown to an unoccupied place at the end of a long table. To her immediate left was an elderly lady in a long morning dress, with a white bun spun over each ear. Opposite this old Victorian was a slight man of Nora's approximate age, probably a stockbroker or commercial lawyer, with wry hazel eyes and black hair falling in waves from a side parting. He looked at her a beat too long, almost as if he were surprised to see her there. She hoped it wasn't a sign of flirtatious interest. Attention from another guest would make her task harder. But he gave a polite nod of greeting before returning to conversation with their neighbour, and Nora relaxed. The place across from her was empty. She glanced about the room, reviewing the gathered hotel guests, looking for her quarry, Berenice Oxbow. Her name was anglicised too. Often, Nora thought of Berenice as simply the icon. For now, the icon was nowhere to be seen. Nora fidgeted with the hem of the linen tablecloth. The room was high-ceilinged, thick with cherubs made from rose-hued plaster. Immense arched windows lined one wall. A series of blue glass lampshades swung from above. They were reminiscent of upturned goblets. The dark-haired man was talking of architecture to their elderly companion.